I'm going to jump in here real quick because it's something we have been waiting for. The IG report, we are being told, is out. Just getting word of this now. Catherine Herridge is getting to a camera in Washington. We will have the breaking news on this as soon as we can bring that to you.
Yeah, James Comey under the IG report. That's going to be interesting. Obviously those conversations he had with President Trump that he wrote memos about, and whether or not that was impropriety. But let's talk. We're going back to the idea of like the fiscal deficits, right? I mean, we're spending and spending and spending, and I'm with you on rolling back regulations. I'm with you on lowering the corporate tax rate, things like that. But at the same time, the unforeseen, I think, is the concern here as far as the money going to ICE for the. All
right, let's pick up on the Inspector General report as we try to get access to whatever we are being given access to here, and get your thoughts leading up to that, Jessica and Amos.
The Inspector General
Comey report. Yeah, well, yeah. So we were talking about this on the Business Network this morning because this is a report that the IG is just looking at James Comey. This has nothing to do with the collusion and the FISA warrants and the abuse and the investigators. This is just a separate look at from the IG at exactly James Comey's actions when he was still FBI director, and whether or not that was, frankly, illegal. Were his actions illegal? There's been some that have said that he should be brought up on charges, but
okay, let me just read you at least one line from what we are getting here. Official release. The DOJ Inspector General report has been released. The report of investigation of the former FBI Director James Comey's disclosure of sensitive investigative information and handling of certain memos. Digging deep into the third paragraph here, this stands out. As described in today's report, the OIG concluded that the memos were official FBI records. I'm going to keep reading into this. You respond to that, Amos.
I mean, how many hours are we going to talk about this today until it goes immediately to political talking points? I mean, are we going to have half an hour? Is it a full hour? I mean, we'll see as this continues to roll out.
Let me continue. The OIG determined that Comey violated applicable policies in his FBI employment agreement by providing one of the unclassified memos that contained official FBI information, including sensitive investigative information, to his friend, with instructions for the friend to share the contents of the memo with a reporter. Jessica.
Yeah, when that story came out, I believe his friend who's a Columbia professor, and it found its way to the New York Times. The way that it was being discussed, and certainly kind of looking at the content of the situation, expected that this would always be something that we would revisit. And Comey has been making comments in the past few days that have kind of indicated that the IG might find some of his behavior not up to code.
It goes further about those.
It was to say it's been earlier it had been recommended that justice should look into this more and look into Comey's actions again, finding were these illegal actions. Obviously, he was fired a month after those.
Okay, right, but not for that. He was not fired.
Let's just stay with
sharing the memo.
Let's just get the news out there before we have the reaction. James Comey's already responding. He just sent out a tweet. DOJ IG, quote, found no evidence that Comey or his attorney, so he's quoting the IG report, that his attorneys released any of the classified information contained in any of the memos to members of the media. And this is now James Comey. I don't need a public apology from those who defamed me, but a quick message with a sorry we lied about you would be nice. I'll take you back, however, to the IG report. Excuse me, and what it said further about James Comey and those memos that were stored in a safe in his home. Additionally, the OIG determined that Comey, while FBI director, kept copies of 4 of the 7 memos in a personal safe at his home, and after his removal as FBI director, violated FBI policies and his FBI employment agreement by failing to notify the FBI that he had retained them or to seek authorization to retain them.
So obviously, none of us have read the report in full. I mean, we're just hearing tidbits of it, and I would like to have that before us.
This is big. Yeah, that's big.
I've got it on my phone. It's
absolutely. But I think if you look at Comey is going to go to the bottom line here, right? Which is that we didn't find, large wrongdoing, and there were going to be bits and pieces of things that he did do that were wrong or breaches of protocol, which is what I was talking about, the conversation swirling in the last few days. Those are going to be the small pieces. This actually sounds reminiscent of, and I'll wait until I look at it, kind of the indictment, non-indictment of Hillary Clinton over the emails, right? Saying that at the end of the day, this wasn't something that we were going to go after her for, but there were X, Y, and Z things that were done wrong. So classified versus unclassified information, which is a very big deal. I don't know about the rules rules about what you can store in your safe and what you have to turn over.
Well, he argued that so many of these memos that he wrote were his own personal memos. The Inspector General is saying, no, some of this was FBI. These were FBI reports and should have been maintained under FBI confidentiality. I want to go to the end of the report where it says Comey's unauthorized disclosure of sensitive law enforcement information about the Flynn investigation merits similar criticism. In a country built on rule of law, it is of utmost importance that all FBI employees adhere to department and FBI policies, particularly when confronted by what appear to be extraordinary circumstances. It says Comey had several other lawful options available to him to advocate for the appointment of a special counsel. Now, that's what he was trying to do when he handed off these reports to a friend of his.
But it looks like they really dig into the use of his personal scanner, his personal email, which, is, to Jessica's point, brings up, of course, the Hillary Clinton era that we all have gone through. But that, again, he considered some of these memos his personal memos. Right. And it sounds to me, from what I'm reading, and again, this is a large report we're all going through together.
79 pages.
Right.
But it looks to me like what the IG is saying is absolutely not. He was the FBI director at the time, and that he was actually using personal technology at his home. Maybe he should not have been doing.